Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news, takeover news, general news and chit chat show on the channel. Lots of interesting stories coming in today. A lot of people talking about Manchester United, a lot of fake news coming out about Manchester United, and a lot of Arsenal fans being very insecure about Manchester United. They've been telling me that Ramsdale is better than Onana all week, but it looks like Arteta wants Ramsdale, and Arsenal fans are saying, "Oh, it's to replace Matt Turner. Oh, it's to replace our second keeper, Matt Turner." It's not. It's because Arteta knows Ramsdale isn't as good as you think he is. He's not. I mean, I'm surprised Chelsea aren't in for David Raya, and we will talk a little bit about this because you know what? He's the flash news of the day. Arteta doesn't want Ramsdale. He wants David Raya. We'll use that to wind up some Arsenal fans. Well, maybe he wants Ramsdale's competition for David Raya. So maybe he wants David Raya's competition for Ramsdale. But let's be honest, David Raya is a better keeper than Ramsdale. But Arsenal fans have been telling us that Ramsdale's so much better than Onana. I don't think Ten Hag rates Ramsdale that highly because to spend 30 million on a second keeper, But Harry Kane to Manchester United, Harry Kane to Bayern Munich, Rasmus Hojlund is done. So unless the Qataris come in and slash the cash, United aren't getting Harry Kane. But news has come out that actually the reason United didn't pursue Harry Kane is because he would want a £500,000 a week deal. That Harry Kane would be on a 500 grand a week deal, and that's why we went for Hojlund. I do think that story is United PR. I think that United didn't want to go for Harry Kane because he was going to cost too much money. So United went for Hojlund because he's the cheaper option. So I think United are going to pretend that Kane was demanding 600k a week. To say that's why they didn't get him. But we know you didn't get Kane because the Glazers didn't want to release those kind of funds. So, as well. And you're wrong, Alice. Ramsdale's an amazing keeper. You know what? I'm going to start saying to Arteta, Ramsdale's an amazing keeper. Ramsdale's an amazing keeper. So Arteta can keep Ramsdale because I generally think Ramsdale is a good keeper, but he's not a great keeper. And I think, how last season, when I say last season, the season before, the Rangnick Ollie season, David De Gea wasn't a problem. The Rangnick Ollie season, David De Gea wasn't a problem because the players in front, well, he was a problem, but he wasn't a proper problem. Do you know what I mean? David De Gea, the Ollie Rangnick season was not considered a priority problem because all the players in front of David De Gea were awful. David De Gea, Ronaldo and Fred were the only three players that had a good season under Ollie and Rangnick. But then last season we had a good season under Ten Hag when the actual players started playing well. We could see that De Gea was a problem. And I think that's the same with Ramsdale. I don't think Ramsdale is a problem to Arsenal, but I now think that Arsenal are advancing and getting us a better team. If they want to go from second to first, maybe they need to change the goalkeeper because the goalkeeper's a goalkeeper. He's a top 4 goalkeeper, but he's not a title-winning goalkeeper. David De Gea is not a goalkeeper in the modern game of football. Back in the day, he could have, but not in the modern game of football that's going to win you Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. And even FA Cup finals, he was a big mess, But but he could get us top 4. He got us third place. He got us a Carabao Cup. But to get to that next level, you need to replace a keeper. And I think that's what Arsenal are probably doing with Raya for Ramsdale, in all honesty. But I just wanted to really cover this. I know it's Arsenal news, just because I've had Arsenal fans telling me, oh, that Onana's rubbish and Ramsdale's miles better. And Ramsdale's a solid keeper, but if Ramsdale is better than Onana, why is Arteta wanting to spend 30 million on a keeper? Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me as well. I can see in your mirror we've got my emoji pillow on the mirror. But I wanted to get into some news. I wanted to just talk about some things. I will get into the United news at the start of the video because I know most people come in here for the United news. But I wanted to just talk about the Arsenal stats. Arsenal fans being very insecure about Manchester United at the moment. Because I saw this going about. Okay. And Arteta's 7 transfer windows of Arsenal, apparently he spent 385 million euros. So I went on Transfermarkt. Transfermarkt's very good source. I want to clear this up. Erik Ten Hag has technically only spent Erik Ten Hag's technically only spent about 350 million euros so far because Hojlund hasn't been registered. So Erik Ten Hag's technically spent 80 million euros less than you're saying. But Arteta has spent 685 million. Arteta has spent 685 million. 685 million Arteta spent. I don't know why Arsenal fans are saying he spent 385 when he spent 685 million. I don't know why. It's 1.7 million views. I think the Arsenal fans feeling very insecure about us signing Onana, us signing Hojlund. That I've seen a lot of these fake stats going about, and I don't know what it is, but it is. Voice of Reason says Ramsdale's distribution is average. He only makes short passes and he never goes long. Additionally, he's decent at making saves, but not elite. Exactly. And I think if David Raya had better competition, he would have performed a little better to an extent. But I think David Raya was fantastic up until about 2018 when the game of football changed, especially if you want to make possession-based football as well. I think that was the thing with David Raya as well. And I'm just mad Chelsea aren't going. I'm just surprised that Chelsea aren't getting for Raya. But Ten Hag is cooking. You know Ten Hag is cooking something when you see rival fans getting insecure. You know Ten Hag's cooking something when you see rival fans getting insecure as well. We're going to talk about Harry Kane in today's video. If there is a possibility to sign Harry Kane, we should go for him because Hojlund's a long-term solution, not a direct fit like Kane. I agree. The ideal scenario, proper run club with Qataris at the helm, and it would, of course, be Harry Kane and Rasmus Hojlund. Harry Kane would be our Haaland, Rasmus Hojlund would be our Julian Alvarez. And do you know what's getting on my nerves today, people? Do you know what's really winding me up today? People who aren't Man United fans trying to compare Hojlund to Haaland. Because you know what we'll get? You know what we'll get when Haaland gets 40 goals next season and Hojlund gets 10 goals next season? You get people on Twitter going, I can't believe Man United fans compared Hojlund to Haaland. No Manchester United fan is comparing Hojlund to Haaland. It's not a debate. Why are we comparing Hojlund, who's had his first ever season in the top flight of football, who's only just turned 20 years of age, to Erling Haaland, who's 23 or 22 and established? How old is Erling Haaland? I think he's 23. Erling Haaland age. Is he 23 or is he 22? Yeah, Haaland is over 3 years older than Hojlund. Haaland's had 3 full seasons in a top flight league. Hojlund's had 1. No Man United fan is comparing Rasmus Hojlund to Erling Haaland. So as soon as Rasmus Hojlund signs for United, maybe we should be comparing him to the Evan Fergusons. You know, young strikers. You should be comparing Rasmus Hojlund to someone like Evan Ferguson. Why are you comparing him to Haaland? Why? It's not Man United fans, and this is the problem. You get people on Twitter going, oh my God, Man United fans are comparing Hojlund to Haaland. We're not. It's the media. You know, Rasmus Hojlund is going to the biggest club in the world. There's already enough pressure on him as it is because he's literally our only striker that doesn't have breadstick legs. So there's enough pressure on Rasmus Hojlund as it is. It's a hefty fee. He's going to the biggest club in the world. And the idiots at Sky Sports in the big media side are saying, oh, look, Rasmus Hojlund got 9 goals last season to Haaland's 30 goals last season and comparing their goals, games played and assist numbers. No, like it's stupidity. If you're going to compare Haaland and Hojlund, you should compare them for runs made in behind per 90, progressive passes per 90, things like that. Maybe compare them at statistics per 90, that, you know, presses per 90. Ten Hag's buying Hojlund for his runs, his dribbles, his presses, his passes. Maybe deep dive into statistics like that. But why are Sky, BBC, these big media companies doing tweets comparing Hojlund and Haaland? No, like no one's comparing them. United aren't comparing Hojlund to Haaland because we know he's not the finished product. If we signed Kane, great, compare him to Haaland. Kane can be compared to Haaland. Hojlund should be getting compared to Evan Ferguson. They both had their breakout season in the top 5 league. And it's like, this is not going to help. This is not going to help this because he's coming to the biggest club in the world who are going to rely on him to be their main striker because we are stupid enough to neglect the striker position for so long that he will be our main striker. There's already more pressure on you at Man United than any other club in the world. You go to Arsenal and you're not great, you just have Arsenal fans going in on you. If you go to Man United and you're not great, you have the media. Manchester United is the most spoken about team in the media. If you go to United and you don't perform, you've got the media on you. Even Liverpool and Arsenal players don't get the pressure Man United players get. It's the most pressure ever. You've only had 1 season at 19, half a season if you actually count the full 90s in a top 5 league. You're for an expensive fee. It's enough pressure on him already, especially because he's got to be the main number 9. If Harry Kane was here as well, it would take the pressure off him. It would be so much easier, like Julian Alvarez and Haaland. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So why are the media trying to force it and compare Hojlund and Haaland? This is a kid. This is a kid. This is a guy 3 years younger than Haaland. And just because they're blonde, tall, quick, names sound similar, and both from Scandinavian countries, you can't compare them. You can't. And I was just sitting there and I'm thinking, it was proper winding me up, I have to say. It's so, yeah, as John James said, it's so childish to compare players based on similarities. It's like what's that silly account on Twitter called? Is it Barstool Sport? there's a really silly account on Twitter that is definitely run by 12-year-olds. It's something they would do. It's one of those like 12-year-old things as well. Nowhere is Hojlund anything like Haaland, play for different teams, different types of formations, exactly. People are just trying to like create some Hojlund versus Haaland narrative for no reason. If United sign Mbappe, if United sign Kane, that's when you compare it to Haaland, but it's like, it just makes no sense. Haaland is like a Ballon d'Or player, and this is a kid. It's like, okay, so let's say, Real Madrid, when Real Madrid signed, I don't know, Rodrigo, from Brazil, were they comparing Rodrigo and Lionel Messi in the Spanish media? No, Lionel Messi played right wing for Barcelona. Then Real Madrid signed a right wing. Are they going to compare Rodrigo to Messi? No. So, because Messi was Ballon d'Or level, Haaland is Ballon d'Or level right now. So why are you comparing a kid? It's crazy as well. Alice, you mentioned about Ten Hag when we wanted Ollie sacked right before we got him. Do you think Arteta should get sacked if he wins nothing? Ramsdale comes nowhere near Anana. Yeah, I actually spoke about Ten Hag a few times on the channel before he even joined United when we had Ollie. I do think this season, if Arsenal, I'll be honest, if Arsenal win nothing this season, unless they are literally again in the title race to the very end, you've got to sack him. Because I do think if Arteta's consistently got this Arsenal side in title races, there's no point sacking him. But if he goes again another season, because I don't think you can realistically beat City, but if he wins nothing this season, I think the pressure's on to say, it's difficult. If Arteta wins nothing this season and he's second, but he's like 20 points off Man City, potentially. But I think the thing with Arsenal is they've had 5 years not in the top four. So just have a manager that's getting them consistently on the top four is what they want and what they're comfortable with. So while I think Arteta needs to win something this season, then there should be pressure on him to something this season. If he's got Arsenal at the top and competing, that's better than they've been the last 6-7 years. So you kind of just got to stay with him to an extent, unless it was the football was poor and you felt like they were overperforming. I think that's the thing. Like, let's say Ten Hag comes second next season but doesn't win a trophy, I wouldn't sack Ten Hag. So I think as long as Arsenal are up there, I wouldn't sack him. But I think he's not as good as Arsenal fans make out. Arteta is apparently so clear of Ten Hag, but he's come 8th like twice. Ten Hag's had one season, one trophy, third. But you know what Arsenal fans are like as well. Kane was playing Championship football till 22. People improve quicker than others. Thank you. And you know what? I saw something, and I'll see if I can find it. But it actually said number of career goals in a season by the age of 19. And did you know Rasmus Hojlund had more career goals at 19 than Van Persie? Rasmus Hojlund had more experience playing in a top 5 league. Rasmus Hojlund had more goals playing in a top 5 league than people like Van Persie and stuff. It's like, you've got to remember he is 20 years of age. Where was Kane at 20 years of age? Where was Van Persie at 20 years of age? Where was Van Nistelrooy at 20 years of age? Where was Aubameyang at 20 years of age? This is it. I want to get this up. This was a really good tweet I saw. I want to get this on the screen. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not sharing my screen. Wait a sec. Let me share my screen with you people. This is what I mean about Rasmus Hojlund. It doesn't want to work now. Doesn't want to work. There we go. Here we go. This was a really good tweet. And let me just zoom out one because that's quite zoomed in. It was said by Peach United point of view. It took Wayne Rooney 3 seasons to score 20 goals in all comps for United. It took Wayne Rooney 6 seasons to score 20 league goals for us. It took Ronaldo 4 seasons to score 20 league goals in all comps. It took Ronaldo 5 seasons to score 20 goals for us. Don't set unrealistic goal scoring expectations for Rasmus Hojlund. That's one thing you need to remember. But I also saw something else about players that have scored less goals than Hojlund. Hojlund's actually scored a fair amount of goals for his age, but unfortunately, people who are stupid and don't have much football knowledge, they'll just go, Rasmus Hojlund's crap. This is what I was talking about. Okay, centre forward, 19-year-old seasons in all comps. In all comps, because we've got to count that when he first turned 19. 16 goals. Van Persie, 15 goals. Ramos, 15 goals. Suarez, 15 goals. Balotelli, 11. Aubameyang, 10. Vlahovic, 9. Vlahovic, same league. Benzema 8, Kane 5, Cavani 2, Nunez 0, Osimhen 0. Okay, 19-year-old season in all comps. So you know this whole narrative around Hojlund, you know, people say, oh, he's got 9 goals, oh, he's rubbish, and people will be expecting him to score 20 goals from the get-go. No, be realistic. This guy should be coming in as a striker that should be moulded. Like how we brought in Wayne Rooney and how we brought Ronaldo wasn't to play week in, week out. We brought them for their potential. We brought them to be moulded. And that's exactly how we should be acting with the likes of Rasmus Hojlund as well. You know, absolutely. Big up everybody in the chat. Please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new as well. Yeah, Barstool is probably one of the silliest accounts on Twitter, isn't it? But they know what they're doing. They absolutely say crap. They absolutely say crap for things. Rooney was better at 16 than Haaland at the same age. It's pointless comparing. Yeah, you know, he's good at this age, Hojlund, but it's crazy as well. And Alice, the rival fans have been rattled with our signings, especially that one club bottlers. And do you know what's mad is they'll be like, okay, Hojlund's cost us £64 million. He will only cost us above £70 million if he gets over 20 league goals, which means he'll be worth £70 million. Hojlund has cost us £64 million. Rasmus Hojlund still cost us less money than Kai Havertz cost Arsenal. Arsenal have spent more money on Kai Havertz, who has scored less goals than Hojlund in the Premier League and is 4 years older than Hojlund. Arsenal, you spent more money on Kai Havertz than we have on Hojlund. Chelsea, you've spent more money on players like Aubameyang and Mudryk than we have on Hojlund. So you'll see Arsenal fans and you see Chelsea fans going, oh, United, they spent blah on Hojlund. Like it's just people being silly. It's just people being silly as well. And Alice, the player with the most pressure on him is Sancho, since he's the highest paid player at the club. Is Sancho the highest paid player at United now? De Gea's left. You know what? It might be, unless Rashford's new contract as well. Bring on Amrabat and then we'll be cooking up a storm. Erik ten Hag has been a revelation for us. Exactly. And do you know what I tweeted last night, actually? I'm a bit off topic because I do want to get into some transfer news, but this is a really good chat here. And I'll show you what I tweeted last night. And I kind of mentioned this in my video this morning, but I think I love Erik ten Hag's ambition. So I'm going to scroll down. Here it is. So Phil said United signed Maitland-Niles and Hojlund within the space of 25 days before the start of the season. So credit where credit is due to United, exactly. And I said, Ten Hag coming, showing ambition. I meant to say Ten Hag coming in and showing ambition and making it clear he wants signings before the season starts has definitely had an impact. Plus, no more Ed Woodward. Hopes this helps. Just need the Glazers to sell. But what I love about Ten Hag is his ambition. Ten Hag isn't here. He doesn't care about commercial stuff. He doesn't care about this and that. Ten Hag has come into United and he's basically gone to the board and said, like, buy me players before the start of the season. Stop faffing about. He's absolutely gone out there and he's shown some ambition. And I absolutely love and admire that from Ten Hag. And obviously there was lots of stories coming out on Ten Hag today, how he's cutting commercial days from the tour, how he doesn't feel that, you know, commercial days are beneficial and that Ten Hag is focused on football and football only. And I'll probably make a separate video on this. But like other stuff came out on Ten Hag recently and it was saying like Erik ten Hag believes nothing should distract Man United from football, even to the point where Abraham Glazer and his wife were made to wait to have a chat with him. Ten Hag was saying, you can wait to have a chat to me. I'm busy. I'm thinking about football things to the Glazers as well. You know, Ten Hag ain't messing about waiting for the Glazers to do this, that and this. Ten Hag's putting in new rules. Ten Hag's making loads of changes to United. But, you know, one of the things about Ten Hag is he's pushed and pushed and pushed for the board to get signings in early before the season starts. Ten Hag has expressed to John Murtough and Richard Arnold why it's so important to get signings in before the season starts, really pushing, showing some ambition. And then we hear things coming out like new, all things commercial have been run through Ten Hag and approved by him by staff. They have become accustomed to be peppered with questions about why, where, and who, and when, and what is happening. And that is because Ten Hag wants to cut commercial days from the United tour. We were meant to have 4 commercial days on the tour. Ten Hag's cut it to 2. And do you know what I love about Ten Hag? And James Ducker did a really good story. And I'll probably make an actual video on this and get into more of the story. I'm only going to get into a few bits here. But it was said, for fans who have worried about commercial priorities have too often trumped on pitch matters in the past, it will be music to your ears that he'll just say no if he doesn't think it's needed, one source said. Erik ten Hag isn't interested in this commercial stuff. You know, Man United's come a bit of a commercial club rather than let's prioritise what's best on the pitch club. Erik ten Hag's basically expressed that he's not interested in commercial things unless he thinks it's worthwhile. He is so focused on football. He's pushing the board to get signings in early. He's showing ambition. He's getting strict with the play. He's made a load of rule changes. And he said, like, you know, You know, I'm not here to muck about with commercial days and brand image. I'm here to make us the best team in the world. And John Murtagh, get me Hojlund in now. Do what it takes. I'm not letting you faff about to end of August to sign me some players I don't want. The thing I love about Ten Hag is Ollie didn't want Donny van de Beek, but Ollie went, well, just, give me Donny van de Beek if you can't sign me anyone else. Ten Hag stays firm. He goes, I want this player, and this player. You're not signing me this player. Ollie would let the board sign any old player for him. Erik Ten Hag saying, no, you are not signing this player for me. I don't want him. You're not getting this player. I don't want him. We are signing players I want in this position, and we are getting a goalkeeper. The board offered De Gea a new contract, and Ten Hag went, no. Like, De Gea is there if you want to finish 4th place. De Gea isn't there if you want to finish 1st place. I want to finish 1st place. Ten Hag weren't messing about giving De Gea a new contract. He went to the board. He said, no. Ten Hag said, I'm a winner. I want to win. So we ain't giving De Gea a new contract. That's what Ten Hag's. He didn't say that literally, but that's what I'm implying. Ten Hag's like, we're not giving De Gea a new contract. We're not signing this player. We're bringing in this player. We want signings by the start of the season. We want to be ready. We're going to have more matches on pre-season than ever and less commercial days because Ten Hag is so focused on winning. And I think Ten Hag has been a great revelation for us as well. Great revelation. Going back to the Hojlund topic, Hojlund's been judged before he's even played a first game. Let's see how he adapts to the Premier League before making judgments on him. And chat of the day from Jacko. Anyone here who wants to judge Hojlund already, grow up. He is a young kid coming in. We shouldn't be expecting him to score 20 plus goals. We need to take the pressure off him. But he's a good kid who's got good ambition that wants to come to United. And unfortunately, there's idiots who are already trying to put the pressure on Hojlund, and I have to say 9 goals in 20 games is good for a 19-year-old. Exactly. Absolutely, exactly. Let's be positive behind Hojlund. Let's get behind Hojlund. Let's not expect too much from Hojlund. But if Hojlund doesn't hit the ground running, let's not turn on Rasmus Hojlund because it's hard enough coming to Man United, especially when you're expected to be Manchester United's only striker. We've got to be absolutely patient with Rasmus Hojlund as well. Kane Bruno link up would be elite levels and would be a shout for Champions League 100%. Kane would be a different kind of signing. Unfortunately, we can't do that as well. But 16 goals at the age of 19 across all his competitions, and he has very good link-up play. There's a lot of potential in there as well. And as John says, Benny McCarthy will sort him out and make sure he gets better, 100% as well. Last season, we lacked goals. Our main priority was a striker. Hojlund isn't the answer to the issues, but will potentially be a great asset. We need more goals from wingers and midfield. I agree. Hojlund doesn't answer all our problems, but he significantly improves us bringing in Rasmus Hojlund because we need a striker. We need at least a focal point. Someone's going to be there to score goals. But you know what? And Rashford said this today in an interview. We need to make sure our wingers are scoring more goals. Rashford said it's great scoring more goals and he'd like to score a few more goals, but he also wants to see his teammates score goals because we're too reliant on Rashford being our goal scorer last season. We need Anthony, we need Sancho to step up because if Anthony, Sancho and Rashford all do their bit next season and all get their fair share of goals, instantly takes less pressure off Hojlund. There's even more pressure on Hojlund than ever because our wingers aren't always delivering or scoring the most amount of goals. Now, obviously, we need a striker. And what I like is actually, I do think Hojlund will score goals because you've got to remember this. Most big chances created in the Premier League last season, Bruno Fernandes 32. Most key passes in a single Premier League game last season, Bruno 9, Salah 8. Bruno creates and Bruno's got a striker. And United created the 3rd most chances in the Premier League last season, had the 3rd highest XG, but got the 9th most amount of goals because United didn't have that striker presence. Yes, Hojlund's not Harry Kane, but at least we've got someone that wants to score goals. We've got a 6'3", physical, hungry player that would break a bone to score a goal. And not only that, and I hope you guys watched my video this morning. My video this morning, I think, is a really good video, so please do check it out. But Hojlund literally rejected PSG, Premier League clubs to go to United, rejected higher wages to go to United. I said the video I titled this morning is called, the crazy thing Hojlund did just to get his Man United move. And that is talking about all the things Hojlund did to get this United move. He hired an agent on a 3-month basis and said, you're getting me to United or I'm sacking you. That is the ambition he showed for United. And he's not only a good young player, but he's got this level of ambition to play for United, wanted United and United only. So Hojlund's even got that personality that you want to see from a player coming to United as well. If we did manage to get Kane, then we could possibly win the league, potentially. Kane and Amrabat. We still definitely need another midfielder like Amrabat to help with retention and take the pressure off Casemiro. We saw that we struggled a little bit versus Real Madrid. But yeah, 100%. Kane and Amrabat, I think United could win the league, depending on what City do. Because I don't think City have had a great summer transfer window, but I think they will end up buying someone like De Jong. I think City are going to do something insane in August, which I hate as well. I think if Ten Hag got Kane and Hojlund, that would be unreal. Liverpool spent 100 million on Nunes as well, literally. 100 million on Nunes, and Liverpool fans would go, oh, Hojlund. Nunes, I think will have a good season at Liverpool next year, but Nunes pony. I swear I can't wait to see Hojlund score against those teams. The meltdown will be epic. You know what? Hojlund scoring a hat-trick against Arsenal next season, please. It's like, yes, Man City's our biggest rivals. Yes, Liverpool's our biggest rivals. But Arsenal fans are the mouthiest and the loudest for a team that hasn't won anything other than the FA Cup in the last 20 years. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. Well, 15 sort of years, but yeah. New Amrabat has packed his bags ahead of a move to Manchester United. Who's that come from? Let me know the source for that. I will get into the Amrabat transfer news and I will get into the Amrabat stories. A lot of people saying Amrabat, here we go as soon. United have put an official bid for Amrabat, so lots of positive news regarding Amrabat to United as well. So I will get into the Amrabat news in a second. I need Kane and Amrabat or Kylian Mbappe to United for next year. That would be absolutely insane. I'm a little bit behind on the live chat as well. Talks between Chelsea and Brighton have collapsed over Caicedo. I do worry that Chelsea could make a hijack for Amrabat if that is the case. But you know what? I was mad that we went for Mason Mount and not Caicedo, but I'm not mad now. If we can get Mason Mount and Amrabat for £75 million, that's better than us signing Declan Rice or Moises Caicedo, especially because if Chelsea couldn't get a deal for Moises Caicedo over the line, there's no way United could get a deal for Moises Caicedo at United. For Moises Caicedo over the line, I'd be killing myself if we were still working on a deal for Moises Caicedo now. I'd be like Frankie de Jong 2.0. Hojlund will also get much better service at United as well, 100%. You know what? The thing about Hojlund is I think he could actually score 15 goals in the Premier League next season. I think he's capable of it. I think we've got to take the pressure off him. We've got to probably expect about 10 goals because the Premier League is going to be significantly harder than... the Premier League will be significantly harder than the Serie A. Completely lost it. The Premier League will be significantly harder than the Serie A. But yeah, please keep hitting the likes. And Hojlund will become a bagsman, marks my words, says Skylord. I think Hojlund will become a good signing as well. Moroccan Pitbull, he bodied Rice in the conference final. And Glazer's out, Qatar in. Yeah, Glazer's out, Qatar in, of course. Hojlund will need good services and his hold-up play and strength will create a lot of chances for our winger. Exactly. Hojlund's going to come in and he's going to do a lot of things to improve us. Hojlund, it's realistic, a backup striker at that age and his time in top football. Sky's out of pocket comparing him to the best striker in the world. Exactly. I don't know why Sky Sports were doing that as well. And Alice, the more I listen to you, the more I think you need to be working on TalkSport. You definitely increase the listening numbers. Big up, Nick. Appreciate the comment as well. And apparently it was Arsenal who won in the Premier League. Some rumours say it was Chelsea, but Arsenal were linked to Hojlund. That's why I was joking that he rejected Arsenal, just to really make them bite. But Arsenal were definitely interested in Rasmus Hojlund as well, and a lot of people forget that as well. I would like to take this moment to thank, me, says Abraham Glazer. I'd like to take this moment to tell Abraham Glazer to please leave Manchester United as well. But the Two-Toe Sport is a bit of an iffy source, saying new Amrabat has packed his bags ahead of a move to Manchester United. Two-Toe Sport is a bit of an iffy source, so I would take that with not even a pinch of salt. I'd probably take that with a barrel of salt. And Arsenal are chokers. They're not a serious club. They did bottle the league. I think, to be fair, Arsenal could win the league next season because they've invested a lot more than City, but they are bottlers FC. Do you remember they bottled top four, the second last game of last season? And they bottled the league like the third last game of last season as well. 171 likes, guys. Let's push for 200 likes. So if you have not already, please do smash that like button. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, please do subscribe down below to the channel. I will really appreciate it as well. I believe Amrabat wants to come to United, says Nick. And smash those likes, peeps, says John James as well. Amrabat bid on Monday or Tuesday will be about £25 million. Plus bonuses. I think 25 million euros apparently is enough to get it done. But then there's Man United tax, so it probably will be around 25 million pounds. I know Man United got Dortmund and Bilbao. They might have another preseason game after that, but I'm not sure. And Wolves is 15 days. 15 days to Wolves. I think Amrabat could potentially be in for the Wolves game. I think Hojlund will obviously be here for the Wolves game. Anana and Mount obviously here for the Wolves game. I think potentially if we do work on Amrabat and get it quick, he could be here for the Wolves game. But I do think United are probably looking to sell players before they bid for Amrabat. I think that's what they're probably trying to do. Is Kane coming to United? No. Kane wants over a 500 grand a week deal, and United don't want to do that as well. And Alice, Fabrizio saying Arsenal working on Mbappe isn't rubbish talk. When did Fabrizio say Arsenal working on Mbappe? Are they actually? Is Fabrizio just said something? Wait, is this like news coming out? Is there like something going on with Arsenal and Mbappe, or people winding me up? Fabrizio, he's not said anything. Is this fake news? There's surely no way Arsenal are trying to Fabrizio, Arsenal, and Mbappe. Surely not. Surely not. Fabrizio linking Mbappe to Arsenal. I don't think there's much coming out. Do you think it's just fake news coming about? I wouldn't be surprised if it was fake news. I mean, do you know what Arsenal fans are getting on my nerves? You see these accounts here. 0 excuses for Ten Hag now. He spent more in 2 summers than Arteta did in his 33 years at Arsenal. Anything less than a title challenge is embarrassing. It's like, really? It's like, really? Ten Hag's had one full season here. He had to oversee the worst Man United squad in Premier League history with crazy dressing room things. But like, apparently, if we don't get in a title charge, it's embarrassing. Ten Hag's first season at United, he's finished 3rd and won a trophy. You know, Man City at the top. Like, as Toby said, 0 excuses. He finished top 4 in his first season and won a trophy. Arteta spent hundreds of millions to finish 8th and bottle a league title. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Twitter today. They're very insecure about United, the Arsenal fans as well. Steve makes a good point here. The 24-25 season will have 8 games in the UCL group. Oh, that's crazy. I feel sorry for the players having to play that many games. And then the last 32 and the last 16 qualifiers, then final. So we'll have 17 UCL games instead of 13. And the longest break will only be 1 month this year instead of 2 months. It's crazy. But United, if they finish 5th, will likely get the Champions League spot, just because Premier League clubs do seem to do the best as a collective in Europe. There's a chance that you can get in the Champions League if you come in 5th place next season, which probably more reason for the Glazers to want to stay. Oh, we only need to get 5th instead of 4th now. Woo! Hopefully not the case as well. Maguire out to Disasi in. I'd rather have Maguire than Disasi. I'm not lying to you with that as well. United won't make a bid for Amrabat until Hojlund is officially announced. We sell Fred and Donny. And Romano just dropped a video, and it's Liverpool like linking to him. I don't know who it is. Liverpool are now linked to Mbappe. Liverpool have always been linked to Mbappe as well. Alice, is it true Mbappe is going to Liverpool? I don't think Mbappe is. Oh, is it on Romano's YouTube? One sec. Let's see what Fabrizio Romano has put on the YouTube. Let's see what Fabrizio Romano has put on the YouTube here. 1 second. YouTube. I'm just saying Fabrizio. I don't know. I think Mbappe. I think Mbappe will only go Real Madrid. I think PSG just want to get rid of him. Fabrizio Romano said Arsenal boom, Mbappe and Liverpool, Kane attack ready, Fred surprise. So, Romano's talking a little bit about Mbappe going to the Premier League loan. We know that Mbappe could be available on loan as well, because apparently PSG just don't want Mbappe at all around, even around the dressing room, anything like that. PSG aren't even the slightest bit interested about having Mbappe around. Romano said about Arsenal and talks with PSG and Mbappe loan on his YouTube channel. I mean, I don't think that will happen, but Miguel Delaney definitely is by far not one of the most reliable and best sources out there. But Miguel Delaney said if Mbappe was to move to a Premier League club, his dream would be Arsenal, which is quite surprising for a club that hasn't been in the Champions League for 5 years, and Mbappe obviously wanting to leave PSG because he wants to compete and win the Champions League. I did think that was quite surprising, to be honest with you. But there was people like Romano saying, Mbappe's dream is to play for not Romano. Miguel Delaney was claiming that Mbappe's dream, if it wasn't Real Madrid, would be Arsenal. But Miguel Delaney isn't someone I would listen to. I've always said with Mbappe, it's Real Madrid, it's Real Madrid, it's Real Madrid. If it's not Real Madrid, it would be United under Qatar, or maybe Man City because he would just want to win everything. But the reason I say it's United under Qatar is Mbappe idolised Ronaldo. Who did Ronaldo play for? Man United, Real Madrid. So if he's not going to go to Real Madrid, I always say, and maybe this is me being deluded, I always say Mbappe would go to United if we had Qatari owners, because Qatari owners' relationship with PSG, boom, send him to United. Qatari owners, money, boom. Man United, Ronaldo's legacy back in the Champions League. Man United versus Man City, Mbappe versus Haaland. That's like Ronaldo versus Messi, but Premier League edition. I'm just saying, like, I would see Mbappe more at United as well. Yeah. I like Mbappe. He's a great player. Do you think, that's a serious question for you guys watching, do you think, because I actually want to get into some news, I'm doing more of a waffle because there's a lot of things to talk about today, and we've had some really good live chats today, and I do want to get into some news. But do you think there's a chance that Ten Hag could go late in for Mbappe? Mbappe loan end of the season. I tell you this now, Mbappe available on loan, United should be going for that, because, you know, Ten Hag wanted a versatile forward that could play across the front three to take the pressure off Hojlund, and would ideally want a loan. 1, 2, 3. 3 things that Manchester United want to do. 3 things that they can do with Kylian Mbappe. Versatile forward that can play across the front three. A player that's already established and good enough to take the pressure off Hojlund, available on loan. He's also Kylian Mbappe. 4 good reasons. But I give you a 5th reason why it won't happen. Glazers. 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 I tell you why it would be negative if we sign Mbappe. I tell you why it would be negative if we sign Mbappe. I think if we get Mbappe on loan, the Glazers would do it so then they could announce they're staying. Do you know what I mean? It gives me bad energy. It gives me Mbappe on loan would be great, but it gives me bad energy. It's like, I always think if the Glazers do something that's good and beneficial to this club, there's an ulterior motive. Like, I don't believe the Glazers have any good intentions. You know, they don't need to get an Mbappe on loan, so why would they? Well, if they do get Mbappe on loan, shirt sales. But they only need to worry about shirt sales if they're planning to stay. So, you know, maybe in the past they would go for Mbappe on loan. It would be a Glazer signing, shirt sales, media attention. Perfect for the Glazers. Like Ronaldo, they made the money off. They profited off Ronaldo's transfer because they basically got the money back from Saudi Arabia and the shirt sales they made. So the way the Glazers look at it, if they were planning on staying, Mbappe makes sense. Shirt sales, we get Mbappe for a year on loan. So if we announce we're staying, we can use it as PR distraction for the fans. So I almost feel like if United did start making moves for Mbappe, I would be a little bit concerned about the Glazers' intention, because this is we're staying at the team. Like that would be my thought process as well. His shirt sales would be crazy. Big up Diego in the chat. Please keep hitting the likes. Let's get to 500 likes, guys. Let's see how many likes we can get. We've got 900 people watching. Can we get close to that 500 like mark? That would be amazing as well. Mbappe cannot press. I don't think Mbappe 100% fit Ten Hag's system. And Ten Hag wants players with the right mentality, the right attitude that do fit his system, which might be why he's put off Mbappe. But when it's Mbappe as well. United should take Mbappe for a year on loan if he wants to come to the Premier League, then get Kane for free next year. You know what? Do you know what? Ideal situation, not going to happen, let's be honest. Ideal situation is we sign Amrabat, we get Mbappe on loan, and then next summer, Kane runs down his contract, and Mbappe can F off to Real Madrid, and then we get Kane in. That would be the ideal scenario. But if that happens, I will eat a shoe on a live stream, because I don't think that will happen. But that would be unreal. That would be like, nah, that'd be absolutely unreal. Right, I don't know why my oh well, my live stream's been demonetized for some reason as well. Please do keep smashing the like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new as well. You've all been saying that all summer, if Kane and Mbappe on loan, Glazers are going nowhere. It does worry me that there's a potential the Glazers could stay. It does worry me as well. And Alice, why do you think Arsenal are a bigger club than Chelsea, considering we have 2 UCLs? So I think Arsenal are technically a bigger club than Chelsea by size. You know, Liverpool have more Champions Leagues than United, but, you know, United are a bigger club than Liverpool. You know, I do think Man United are a bigger club. So I do think Arsenal are technically a bigger club than Chelsea. Doesn't mean they're better. Doesn't mean, but, you know, the biggest club is United, followed by Liverpool, followed by Arsenal, followed by Chelsea. The club is about its size, its recognizability around the world, its followers. You know, Chelsea are a big club. There's not much in it, but I would say Arsenal are a bigger club as well. Alice, where do you think we'll finish if we sign Amrabat? Third. I think third, if we sign Kane, definitely a different thing. But I do think we're going to have problems in midfield. I like Mason Mount, but I don't think he solves a lot of issues. It's a shame Kobbie Mainoo is out injured because I really could see Kobbie Mainoo having a good season and really growing at United. And it's such a shame that Kobbie Mainoo unfortunately is injured because I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. And he's going to miss the first 2 months of the season, which I think is going to be quite costly. I do want to get into some news. I do want to get some transfer news. I do want to get into some bits and pieces because we have got a few stories coming in Amrabat that I feel like it would only be right to cover. But I want to quickly talk about the takeover. I want to talk about the takeover of Manchester United. It was said Sheikh Yassim's son, who's also a huge Manchester United fan, approves of the Rasmus Hojlund signing. And that Sheikh Yassim's son has been tweeting about Manchester United signing Rasmus Hojlund. So some of the giddy people have got a bit excited in the fan base, like, oh, Alice, is this confirmation that United are signing Hojlund? Oh, Alice, oh, Alice. I don't know. Qatar could just be baiting us here. Yes, people close to Sheikh Yassim are tweeting about Instagramming about Hojlund and how excited they are, but I wouldn't look too much into it, to be honest, as well. Obviously, there's the story that Erik ten Hag wanted to sign Kane, but Manchester United were put off by his £575,000 a week wage demands and a £100 million fee that Tottenham Hotspur were asking for. So although Manchester United are interested in signing Kane, they didn't want to pay over £500,000 a week. They didn't want to agree a £500,000 a week deal with Harry Kane. And Bayern are advancing for Harry Kane, and there's a feeling that Bayern Munich could sign Harry Kane in the coming days, but then some reports are saying Kane is willing to run down his contract to get a Premier League move to break Alan Shearer's record. It was also said by Fabrizio Romano that PSG really tried hard to sign Rasmus Hojlund and had 3 meetings with his agent, but ended up leaving because they knew that Hojlund only wanted Man United. United also had a feeling another English club was calling Hojlund, which is why they decided to accelerate. Rasmus Hojlund moved to the SEG agency on a 3-month trial, telling him to get the Man United move or he would try for another agency. It was said Erik ten Hag loves Rasmus Hojlund and sees him as the perfect modern striker. He's convinced we've only seen a small part of his potential. Erik ten Hag had more than 3 direct calls with Rasmus Hojlund to explain his plans. So there was a lot of interesting stories coming in on Hojlund to United and how much Rasmus Hojlund wanted United as well. But regarding Amrabat, it was said by Fabrizio Romano, and I do want to get the Amrabat news out. I do want to cover that kind of news. Fabrizio Romano said on Amrabat to Man United, Manchester United have conversations on the player side with Amrabat, and he is super keen on the move. It is now time for them to agree a deal with the Fiorentina player. And that it was also said here, if we go into the news here, that Manchester United have not made any official bid for Amrabat, but they will focus on him now. They will now enter talks with Fiorentina because the player is top of their list. So I didn't actually have my screen shared. Romano has now said that Man United have not made a bid yet for Amrabat, despite what Padel is saying, but they're now focusing on Amrabat and they're going to enter talks to try and sign Amrabat, with Amrabat very high at the top of Manchester United's list. So guys, please do smash that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. Big week ahead regarding Amrabat to Manchester United, which I'm super excited for. And I think, Amrabat, a lot of Italian media are claiming this Amrabat move is moving quick. A lot of Italian media being very much like, yeah, Amrabat to United is happening quick. I think it's not going to happen next week, despite Italian media saying Amrabat to United is going to happen next week. I'd like it to happen next week, but I honestly don't think it will. But I do think it will be about, I think the Amrabat move is about sales. I think Manchester United will be looking to sell certain players, looking to, get money in for certain players before they pursue Amrabat. But I do think the fact that Romano's confirmed there's an interest in Amrabat and that we are working on it is really interesting as well. It has said, there has just been news coming out now that Dean Henderson to Nottingham Forest may collapse, which is a little bit worrying news here, guys. Fabrizio Romano said Matt Turner's a serious candidate for Nottingham Forest. They still could see Dean Henderson move collapse. And I feel a bit sorry for Dean Henderson because he doesn't want to be a second keeper. We signed the Nana. Manchester United really need to move Dean Henderson on. But the big problem with moving Dean Henderson on, and the big problem Manchester United have had here, is that we pay Dean Henderson nearly 150 grand a week. And, Nottingham Forest can't really afford those kind of wages. No Premier League club outside the top 6 is going to pay a goalkeeper 150k a week. So the reason we can't and the reason we struggle so much to move on a player like Dean Henderson is because we do give him absolutely crazy wages as well. So the Dean Henderson move might fall through. However, Matt Turner is a significant downgrade on Dean Henderson. Maybe Nottingham Forest are using this to try and speed the Dean Henderson move along. I'm not 100% sure. Arteta has spent 600 million, but Arsenal fans are trying to claim he spent half of that as well. He spent 670 million as well. And we could get Kane in January 50 million or so. If Kane doesn't go to Bayern Munich and if Kane doesn't sign a new contract, Tottenham will not want to lose him for free. And I think they could be forced into agreeing 50 or 60 million for Harry Kane, which would be absolutely crazy, which would be ideal. Do you know what? I think the best case scenario for us, because I don't think we're going to get Mbappe on loan. I just can't see it happening. I think the best case scenario for us is we get Amrabat in. And then in January, we get Kane on top of Hojlund. So we take the pressure off Hojlund because I don't think he's ready yet. I think he'll make an improvement. I think he'll be good, but I don't think Hojlund's 100% ready. So I do think the best case scenario would be if Kane's available in January for United. Kane is a good player, but he is overpriced. He's 100% overpriced. Rivals and media comparing Hojlund to Haaland because they can't wait to stick the knife in. Yeah. Do you know what upsets me about the Hojlund move? And I did a big rant about this about 2 minutes into the live stream. Is that I feel like rival fans and the media are already setting him up to fail, comparing him to Haaland. It's like they want him to fail. I feel there's a big agenda against Rasmus Hojlund out there. He's a Man United signing. He's a Man United player. Or he sounds like Haaland and he's Scandinavian. I honestly feel that people in the media and rivals want him to fail, and they compare him to Haaland. They want to put the pressure on him. I do feel that sometimes, it's like they're trying to set him up to fail, in my opinion. And I don't like that. I don't think that's very good behaviour from the media. No one with a brain is going to compare Hojlund and Haaland. Everybody knows the different kind of players in different kind of situations. And it just annoys me a little bit. It's just like he's a kid. He's a young, hard-working kid that's getting his dream move to United. He's raw. He's like when we signed Ronaldo. When we signed Ronaldo from Sporting, we weren't comparing Ronaldo to Thierry Henry. It's like signing Ronaldo from Sporting and comparing him to prime Thierry Henry. It's like, well, we can't. One's a kid, one's a fantastic player. It's like when we signed Wayne Rooney, were we comparing him to Alan Shearer? No, I mean, to be fair, I just look at it and go, it's like comparing an 18-year-old Wayne Rooney to prime Alan Shearer. You can't compare Haaland. Yeah, it's crazy as well. Keep smashing the like button here as well. It's nonsense that Kane wants that much. He's at Tottenham and who are notoriously one of the lowest wage players in the league. And I agree. If you listen to what I said at the story at the start of the video, I said I think United have put this story out as a bit of PR. Because it was said that Eric Ten Hag wanted Kane, but they were put off by his £575,000 week wage demands and the 100 million fee of Tottenham Hotspur were asking for the striker. But I think United were making out these were the wage demands to try and justify not getting him. Because I'm happy we got Hojlund. I think Hojlund's a fantastic signing. But the reason we signed Hojlund, not Kane, is because Hojlund's going to cost us £50 million less. He's going to cost us £40 to £50 million less, which means we could get Onana. Because Onana cost us £45 million. That's probably the difference between Hojlund and Kane. And Ten Hag made it clear he wanted Onana. And they didn't want to buy Kane and Onana. They just wanted to buy one or the other. So I think that's why we went for Hojlund. But United aren't going to say, yeah, we went for Hojlund because it's cheaper than Kane and the Glazers didn't want to spend over 100 million on Harry Kane. They're going to make out that Kane demanded this much. I don't actually believe that Kane demanded this much money. I think if he does go to Bayern Munich, we'll see him on 250 grand a week. Or something like that. Amrabat needs to happen. I 100% agree that Amrabat desperately needs to happen. Because we saw versus Real Madrid, we struggle with retention. And I've said this before. And I will say this for the 50th time. Manchester United have got Casemiro, Mount and Bruno as a midfield three. And that is a great midfield three if you're all going to play Wolves or you're all going to play Everton. But that is a bad midfield three if you're going to Anfield, you're going to the Bernabeu, you're going to the Etihad. Because there's no control, there's no retention. In those big games where you're going to have less possession, you need Amrabat instead of Mount. And we saw that versus Real Madrid. We're fine versus Arsenal with Maino because Arsenal, aren't, as good a side as the Man Cities and the Real Madrids. They've not won anything for such a long time. But we will struggle. We will struggle 100%. Padula's been a good journalist lately, but him saying that there's been a bid for Hojlund and Romano's not makes me skeptical. I agree. I think Italian media are jumping out of the gun, but I think Padula wouldn't be saying this kind of stuff unless he knew it was going to happen. I think Padula's got sources, but he's still not going to be like Romano kind of level, Ornstein kind of level. Like the Ornstein comes out today with that Ramsdale story. Sorry, with that David Raya story. Ornstein comes out today with that David Raya story out of nowhere. The exclusives they drop as well. We've got Lens on the 5th of August, Bilbao on the 6th of August. So 2 different teams will be playing, just like Wrexham and that. We've got Dortmund tonight. Do you know what's mad? It throws you off because in my head I'm like, oh, Dortmund's Monday, and I think it's going to be like 2 a.m. tomorrow, but it's in like Monday. It's like Tuesday 2 a.m. Monday night. But I've realised we've actually got Dortmund tonight. So I don't know if I'll do a watch along, but I'll stay up and watch the game. Because it's actually, I can't tell, like staying up and watching the game's hard, but if you're actually doing a watch along, you've got to talk for 2 hours. Like I am just so knackered, I'm not going to lie to you, but we'll see. Talk Sport, Sky and ESPN, comparing Hojlund and Haaland, yeah, it's childish, isn't it? It's really, well, Rooney at the 18 was definition of raw. For me, Hojlund is a Rooney signing. We paid a lot of money for Rooney. Wayne Rooney cost what, £30 million? Wayne Rooney, I'm going to Google this, to Manchester United price. Wayne Rooney cost £30 million in 2004. What is 30 million in 2004 worth now? I don't know. With inflation, how much would 34 million be worth now? I reckon Rooney would be about 70 million now, which is the same price as Hojlund. The 30 million we paid for Rooney in 2004 is probably the equivalent of paying 70 million for Hojlund now. I think it's like a Rooney-esque signing as well. 100% as well. Amrabat, crucial signing. We've got more clicks for a Hojlund, here we go, than City's treble win, because we are just clear of that club, aren't we? And will you be doing a watch along? I don't know if I'll do a watch along. I'm going to stay up, see how tired I am, watch the game, make a video on the game. We'll see if we'll do a watch along as well. Yes, takeover update, still no sale. Still no sale, but the takeover update was essentially that Sheikh Yassim's son and Sheikh Yassim's family members and relatives are tweeting about Hojlund to United, not tweeting, Instagramming about Hojlund to United and kind of celebrating it. They're kind of talking about Hojlund to United, celebrating it, oh yeah, United signed Hojlund, la-di-la, la-di-la, la-di-la. So that is sort of the news on the situation, really. And then obviously the other news on the takeover is really that nothing's happened. So very mixed stuff as well. People who've only seen Amrabat at World Cup think he's not great on the ball, but if you watch him for Fiorentina, it's not the case. He's a great progressive passer and ball carrier. Yeah, 100%. I think, I've not watched a lot of Amrabat. I watched him when Fiorentina played, of course, West Ham in the cup final. I've watched him at the World Cup. I'm not going to lie, I've not watched a lot of Fiorentina, but I've watched a lot of studies and reports on Fiorentina and all of that. And I have to say, from what I've watched about him, what I've read about him, I think that Amrabat will be a good player. I think he's got a lot of great attributes, and I'm really excited to see Man United sign someone like Amrabat as well. Padula could be ahead of the game. He could easily be ahead of the game. Wayne Rooney was worth every penny. Yeah, I saw some Man City fans saying Wayne Rooney to United was a 6 out of 10 transfer because 30 million back then is 100 million now, and that he only ever got 20 goals plus in 2 seasons. And I just think some people just don't watch football, or they don't have eyes when they watch football. I think, we all know Wayne Rooney is one of the greatest players of all time. He's one, I think he's 3rd top scorer in the Premier League. He had the ability to play as a midfielder. He had the ability to play as a striker, as a winger. Wayne Rooney had the ability to do so many things. So when people are coming out and criticizing Wayne Rooney, I just think it's crazy. Let's get Alice Talks up to 67,000 subscribers. Yes, guys, let's do that. Please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new, and share the video. Road to 67,000 subscribers. We're on 66,721. So we're not far off that target of 67,000 subscribers. So please do subscribe. Of course, smash the like button, like the video, all of that stuff as well. Hopefully we will get some more takeover news coming in the coming days. I mean, the takeover news surrounding Man United has been a little bit slow, which is annoying, but hopefully we will just get something in. Sky Sports have basically come out and said that, we are going to get a takeover update, this and that. Sky Sports have come out and said a few things that we will hear something on the takeover, but I'm not sure. Apparently, Rasmus Hojlund's biggest dream since he was a kid was to play to United. He's been obsessed with the idea of playing to United as well. People saying, will Ramsdale replace? Will Raya replace Ramsdale? I'd assume he would. Erik ten Hag spoke about Rasmus Hojlund, and obviously he can't really say much because he's not had his medical and it's not finished. Things can go wrong. But Erik ten Hag said to Rasmus Hojlund, I'm a long time in football. First, we have to finish something, then we can talk. You have to keep calm and let the professionals do their work. So although we got the here we go, ten Hag can't actually officially speak on Rasmus Hojlund until he's done his medical as well. Hopefully the Dean Henderson move does not fall through though, because apparently Nottingham Forest are looking at Matt Turner, which is kind of being drugged by, of course, Arsenal going for David Raya. I'm still surprised Chelsea haven't gone for David Raya. But talking of Chelsea, it said talks between Chelsea and Brighton for Moises Caicedo have collapsed, which is interesting. As I said, I'm glad that we didn't go for Moises Caicedo in the end as well. Keep smashing the likes. Of course, subscribe down below if you are new. Get any more comments in the live chat below if you have some as well. Rooney is a legend. Wayne Rooney is the most unselfish striker I've ever seen. Played to always help the team. Took up many positions without complaining. Yeah, I loved Wayne Rooney. Fantastic player. Always made life easier for his teammates to score. There will be no takeover. Those leeches want more money. And Manchester United's highest scorer, Waza, was a rare gem and could offer more than score and create goals. Alice, don't worry. Erik ten Hag is building a system. Erik ten Hag's building a great team. Erik ten Hag is building a great system as well. People, look, this is what I don't get, the negativity. You paid 64 to be correct, for a B-Tech Haaland. We paid 65 Haaland. He will only pay 73 for him if he's absolutely unreal to a crazy level as well. So, you know, people saying that it's not true. We're paying 64. It's like when people say we paid 38 for Amad Diallo. We've actually only paid 18 million for Amad Diallo. We only have to pay a certain amount for Amad Diallo if he doesn't hit a certain level, if you get what I mean as well. Rooney was done at 25. The guy was too slow. I mean, Rooney was fine, but I think Rooney fell off when Fergie left. But you have to say the whole Manchester United side fell off when Fergie left. You know, it wasn't just Rooney. I think it was changes. I think it wasn't good. But yeah, like Rooney obviously fell off a lot quicker, but you know, we got a good 10, 12 years out of Rooney. And unfortunately, I think players that are so good at 18 do fall off by 30 quicker than other players because I do just think they get worn out, they get overplayed, they get overused, they get all of that stuff as well. Keep smashing the likes, people. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and share the video. I am going to wrap up the live stream here, but I do want to thank everybody that has tuned into today's live stream. It has been a really good live show on the channel. Lots of good live chats coming in and more. So big up everybody that has tuned into today's live show. Some great comments and more. Thank you everyone for watching. See you next time. And of course, bye.